Welcome to the Coach's Insights. I'm Grandmaster Arturs Neiksans. I've been coach of Levy Rosman, aka Gotham Chess. We just wrapped up the coverage on Levy Rosman's Twitch and YouTube channels. I was the host, and it is my pleasure to give some of the insights and key moments that happened in his first round game against his opponent from Italy, Giulio Simoni. So let's walk through the first move. So knight f3. Recently, Levy has played quite a lot of ready opening. This is one of my suggestions where I felt that he could enrich his openings by playing a bit creative way with knight f3, g3, bishop g2 on short castle. This is something that he didn't really quite do before our cooperation. And with the very first games that he played, Levy already said he really likes it. b6 is a pretty weird move. We didn't really expect this. So c4 makes sense. There's a lot of good moves. There's e4, there's c4, there's d4. Basically, you have to fight for the center. Black played c5, trying to stop white's d4. So far here, the move knight c3 makes sense. Bishop b7, and now e3. Around here, I believe Gotham Chess was out of the book. We haven't really worked on this particular position. I was wondering maybe d4 also was a possibility with the idea to play knight e4 followed by f3, e4, bishop e3, setting up the Maroczy bind. We have talked about the Maroczy bind. So here Levy decided to play e3, which of course is a perfectly normal continuation. White wants to play d4, grab the space in the center. e6 was responded by Giulio, d4. And now black basically has to play c6 on d4. Otherwise, white's idea already is to play d5, e4, grab a lot of space advantage, and secure better chances in the middle game. So c6 was played, e takes, bishop b4. So black is apparently still pretty much okay. But here, after bishop d3, bishop takes on c3 probably was not a good trade. I think black had to play something like knight f6, short castle, and be careful about giving up the ducks with bishop on c3 just like that. I suppose black simply wrongly evaluated this position because he thought that the pawn on c4 is a weakness. And if black is going to play something like d6, knight e7, and bishop a6, he was hoping that because of the pawn on c4, white will have some problems. So here, Levy plays short castle. I'm not really sure if he already saw the move d5, which was a possibility to play right away. The point is, when your opponent is underdeveloped, what do you want to do? You want to open up position. For example, e takes on d5, short castle followed by rook e1. White has a very powerful initiative. Of course, black doesn't really have to do that. Gotham Chess decided to play short castle. Perfectly reasonable move, continuing development. And after d6, rook e1, immediately asking black some questions. And after knight f6, d5. So far, these were very easy moves by Levy. He's attempting to exploit black's lack of development. I'm not really sure what black had to do here. Maybe one of the ideas was to play short castle, with the idea to give up the pawn on e6. But the point is, after d takes and f takes, rook e6 probably is just fine. But also there might be moves like knight e4, hitting the pawn on e6 with the knight. Also hinting about knight b5 and bishop a3 ideas, and black's center is pretty vulnerable. So that's why here the Italian player decided to play e5, and you can understand him, because if he would be able to castle short and put the knight on c5, his position would be pretty great. And that's why here Levy played knight e4 immediately, attempting to exploit his lead in development. As you can see, black cannot take on d4 because the king is pinned, so black had to castle short. Knight b5 was a very easy move. Also, there were some ideas like bishop g5 here, with the idea if black takes on d4, you can take on f6, and now black's position just crumbles apart because there's a mate on h7. But unfortunately, it's not really so simple, because black doesn't really have to take on d4. Black could play knight e7, and in some lines, maybe this bishop on g5 is not really so accurate move, because you might want to have it on a3 with knight b5, target the pawn on d6, together with the queen on c7. Now that's why knight b5 was played, queen d7, and during the commentary, I was speculating that Levy here had to continue with bishop a3, which felt a very natural move, and the point is, the pawn on d6 is under attack, And after 98, since black is threatened to play a6 and trap the knight on b5, I was suggesting that f4 probably is the way to go, with the idea that after a6, knight e6, knight e6, f takes on e5, black's position just simply falls apart. For example, you play knight e8. There could be many ways to win this. Takes, e6, and black is completely underdeveloped. Even though there's material balance on the board, it's the king's safety and underdeveloped pieces that will decide the fate of the game in favor for white. Also, here was the possibility that after f4, black would take e takes on f4, and white has queen f3, and ideas like queen f4, even rook e8 is a possibility. Sucks to exchange with knight e6. For example, black plays a6. I was not really sure. Do you play knight e6, queen f4? Looks just again killing. The point is rook d8, bishop d6. There's a lot of trades. As you can see, black is simply getting a back rank mate. You could do that. But also here, the idea of rook e8 was always in the air. The point is after rook e8, knight e6, and everything just starts to fall apart for black, as he's never in time to complete his development. Now instead, Levy here played probably the only mistake in the game, f4. That's a move I didn't really like it. I think the point is that he simply missed black's defensive response, which is black could have sacrificed the pawn and played e4. Now the point is, after e4, things are still not so simple. Bishop takes on e4, black gets to play knight a6, knight c5, then play a6 and be very much in the game. Of course, Levy would have the better position, but this would have been a longer game. Now instead here, after f4, black immediately collapsed. He played a6, which was simply unforgivable move, because f takes on e5 and knight takes on d6, these are the threats for white. Now knight e6, Levy found this move pretty easily. The point is, after f takes on e5, this is a pin, and after queen c5 check, white is just in time to play bishop e3, and after queen a3, the game just finished, because now after the simple e takes on f6, black's position just starts to fall apart. If he plays g takes on f6, there's a couple of easy mates using the queen and the two bishops. If black plays something like g6, the simplest move is bishop d4, queen d2, queen h6, queen g7, rook e3, rook h3. On top of that, white simply has two extra pawns. And if this doesn't happen, then after, for example, queen c3, the simplest way to continue would be something like bishop h7, bishop d4, hit the queen, queen c4, f takes on g7, as you can see, queen h5, queen h8, everything is just starting to fall apart for black, because he's simply never in time to complete his development, and the king is getting the killer blow. That's it. That was the first game. Very important and easy victory for Gotham Chess on his way to get the very first GM norm. He gained a couple of important rating points with this victory. So, in case you liked it, be back tomorrow at 9:30 Eastern Summer European time, and I will be host on Gotham Chess Twitch and YouTube channels. By the way, today Levy did the very first live broadcast on his YouTube channel, which at some point amassed a total of 12,000 followers. That's at least the number I got live. So thank you all of you for watching this, and be back tomorrow for round 2, and we'll see if Levy is going to continue his winning ways.